Roses, a discontinued Roblox game. So, I'm gonna be shifting my focus here. Why? Well, I have no clue what I am doing with Project Thorns. Coding-wise, yeah. Building-wise, I can do it all day, but I have no knowledge about coding. So I'm gonna overcome this, and how do I do this? Well, I'm gonna be making a different project. So I am gonna temporarily shut down the development of Project Thorns. Once again, temporarily. I'm gonna work on it another time once I actually get a full project going. Because as of this recording, 2022-08-25, I have no creations fully done. Not even tests I made in different worlds. So for now, I'm gonna work on something else. It's gonna be a smaller horror game with simpler concepts. And for the start of it, I'm just gonna call it It Breathe. So I'm just gonna explain what I'm gonna start doing from that in a little bit. The first time I thought about making this game was back when I started working on it at around like 2 months back. The first thing that I ended up doing is I got some doors in. Because, well, every single horror game has doors, it's pretty obvious. After making the doors, I tried my best to make an interact UI appear when your mouse hovers over it, so you know you can obviously interact with it, duh. And I also made animations for the door as well, forgot to add that. But anyway, for the interaction UI, I started off by making a click to interact with a line in front of it because, well, it's fancy. But after that, I just scrapped it because it was a bit too much, and I just put interact instead. I also tried my best to make a left mouse button click GUI, so the idiots who don't know how to click can know how to click and actually play, so that's good to know. So I ended up making it in Krita, a drawing app. It was actually pretty simple, and yeah, and now it looks like this. After that, I reused my script from an earlier project, which is just a shift to sprint. I found a different type of code that works pretty well with it actually, and also so that it doesn't jitter out like the old code, like this. Yeah, it was a really annoying thing. So after doing all of that for everything, and also me trying to make the click to interact a press E to interact, and it didn't work. So after all of that, it took around 5 to 6 hours. So after that, I just turned in the towel and hit the sack. I woke up the next morning feeling a lot better than yesterday, and booted up Roblox Studio. And for the beginning, I wanted to change the animations for the running animation, because right now it looked kinda plain. So I put my animation skills to the test, and plus I had several other animations, but for some of them, well, we don't really talk about them. Anyway, I opened up Moon Animator 2, made a new animation, and I started to work on it. After a bit of animating, slowly after time, it looked better and better. And during this time, I also found a nice script that made the camera kind of bobble when you walk, because when you walk, you don't completely stand still. And I also got a script where it shows your body in first person, like other horror games. So in a little bit, I eventually finished the animation, so I added it to the script, and now it looks like this. It looks like a small difference, but it's certainly quite a step up, because it does look better. Then I started to work on the problem where the bobble in the first person camera started to interfere. And I started my day off by realizing I need a flashlight because, well, we all know flashlights in horror games, you know, you can't ever find a horror game without at least a light source. So I searched the toolbox for some shapes and I just started from there. After using the shapes, I eventually got a half decent looking flashlight. It just needed some more detail and it will look better. And by just adding a texture and just changing the colors, it looks a lot better. Then after that, I added an actual light and I made it kind of look more realistic by adding rings around it, so it seems more like an actual flashlight. So once I was done with the model, I actually turned it into a tool and now it looks like this. Then the night was coming to a close, so I wanted to at least work on an objective system. So I tried everything I knew from it, and all in all, it didn't work. When I got on studio that day, I decided to change all the animations of the walking and also the idle animation. And unfortunately for this one, I didn't animate. Well, I don't have any footage of me animating. But it looks like this. And it's a lot better than the first one because the first one was... Anyway, after making the walk animation, I decided to make an idle animation I did as well. After I did that, now all the old bad animations are gone. After an hour later, I started to work on the objective system again, by making a cleaner looking GUI and actually knowing what I was doing this time, and it was simple. I mainly just put the script in the wrong part of it, which was actually the part and not the GUI, which made it not work. I don't know why either, it didn't work. Eventually, I started to make animations for the text between in and out. After making those animations for the text, I continued to work on the remaining of the code, and once I was done with all of that, it looked something like this. Now, at this point, I realized that some of the main mechanics were starting to form together. So what did I do? Well, it's pretty obvious. I started making a layout for a small little reference that I may or may not need to use later in the game. So, I also made some props to go along with it, and I made a hallway. Now, all we need is cinematic bars.
Oh hey, I'm just about to go to bed. I know we couldn't Skype tonight, but that's alright. Good night, girl. I'll see you tomorrow.
So, it looks like you have made it to the end of the video. It's pretty nice. Well, I just want to say thank you for seeing all of it. I appreciate it, is what I mean. And to all the people who saw the Project Thorns video, I also appreciate that as well. Because of right now, it has like over 175 views or something, which is insane. So I just want to say thank you. But anyway, this is it. I'm not gonna waste your time anymore. This is already a very long episode, So, you know, if you want to see more, just wait. I'm releasing more parts soon. I don't know when it's gonna happen, but it will. You can like if you want. I mean, I don't completely care, but anyway.